Delina, what do you think about us recording our lives and putting it on YouTube? Are you skeptical? Do you think that it's, a bad idea?
In retrospect or in present time?
What do you mean? We've never uploaded a video to YouTube in our lives. I don't know where she gets her information. I mean, you would think that this is like, we've uploaded 46 videos so far, but we're such noobs at this, and Delana's going to get us killed in the car.
This van
because this van just acted like the a-hole that they are. Oh, look, we're going to pass them. Suckers!
Actually, we're not.
Oh my God, Delana, why are we turning here?
It's quicker.
It's so scary when the car shakes like that. Sometimes I feel like that I'm going to have body parts fall out of my body when it shakes that hard. That's what she said. But yeah, it's been a really interesting night. Delana and Amy and I went to eat at La Hacienda. And Amy and I had margaritas, and they were scrumdiddlyumptious.
And
La Hacienda literally has the best margaritas in this area. Like, you cannot find a better margarita than the ones at La Hacienda. And they're 2 for $1. I mean, how can you beat that? And I'm all stuffed up, so I know I sound like, a retarded, nasally person. But yeah. What were you going to say, ma'am?
I was going to say the DD over here had Coca-Cola, per usual. Since you were naming what people were drinking, I had Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Do you call Coca-Cola, do you call it Coke or Pop or soda?
If you live in the South, you call it Coke even if it's a Pepsi.
What if it's a Dr. Pepper?
It's a Coke, man. You want a Coke? What kind of Coke you want?
Sprite.
You want Sprite? You want Coca-Cola? You want Pepsi?
Would you like to have a Coke? Yes. What kind of Coke? Root beer, please. But yeah, I think it's funny, like, seeing other people that have the whole big discussions of whether or not it's pop or soda. But down here, we look at people funny if they say soda or pop. A lot of people will say pop. I don't know. I have heard some people say pop, some people say soda, but the majority...
Soda's more predominant down here than pop is. It's just like when I think pop, I think my grandpa, or I'm about to pop you one,
Yeah, but if it's carbonated, and if it's a carbonated soft drink, then we're usually calling it Coke.
Yeah.
It's a Coke. You want a Coke? Yes. What kind? That's the way we do it in the South.
In the dirty South.
You can't make fun of people from the South, because if you make fun of people from the South, you will be making fun of us. And you do not want to make fun of us.
Yeah.
Ever.
I like living in the South, other than the fact that it's the Bible Belt. I like the Southern hospitality to the straight people.
I totally didn't get that. That went over my head.
I'm just saying, like, I like living in the South, other than the fact that they're gay haters, and a lot. I'm not gonna say everybody. There's a lot of gay haters. If you ain't on Jesus every day, then Lord, you going to hell. And that ain't. Excuse me, that's not true.
Yeah. We have, Delana and I have frequent discussions about how, I don't know, it's really, I mean, I guess there's, wherever you live in the United States or the world, wherever you live, there's always some kind of, I mean, it seems to be, there's always some kind of negative stigma attached to wherever you live. And I've noticed this especially. I was born and raised in Mississippi. I lived the first 20 years of my life in Mississippi. And I found that after I moved away from there, I lived in Tulsa for a couple of years, and now I've been in Memphis for 4 years. But I've discovered that, if I'm talking to someone, and even if I'm talking to someone like on a social networking site like Tumblr or YouTube or Twitter, people that I've never actually met face to face, they know, a lot of people know that I live in Memphis and everything. But if it ever has come to a point where people have asked me where I'm from, and I've, told them that I was born and raised in Mississippi, it's more often than not, I've gotten the whole, oh, I'm sorry, that really sucks. Or, it's rare that I've ever told, someone that they didn't have a negative negative comeback of some sort about either being from Mississippi or being from the South. And that really kind of pisses me off because, I couldn't help where I was born from. And yes, I know that the South tends to have more, see, this is where it gets in. I don't really want to say narrow-minded people or closed-minded people because
it's the truth.
But I mean, it is. And I get frustrated. I get frustrated with people all the time because they, I feel that, it's a fact of life. We do deal with racism down here. We deal with, just a general all-around unrest and just...
This city in particular has a big racism problem. And it's not, in my opinion, it's not that the entire city is racist. It's the people, I don't want to say the people that matter, but maybe the officials and the people that are in the media and the people that are make the decisions for the city a lot of times tend to be racist. And I don't want to just come out and be judgmental like I say everyone else is and you're a racist, but that's just the way it seems to me. So
yeah, so it is hard. It's a lot of people do have a negative stigma when they find out. And yes, I know that Mississippi, people say that it's the worst state, but you know what, I like Mississippi. I was born there, I was raised there, and
it's
it's home
of the Ole Miss Rebels.
That's when I think Mississippi, I don't think like, oh, and it's so frustrating. This is another one that gets me. Okay, there's when they talk about the obesity epidemic in the United States, they always talk about how Mississippi is the number one, the fattest state and all that. And, I'm really self-conscious about that because I've struggled with my weight my entire life. So for someone to point that out, when I say that I'm from Mississippi and they're like, oh yeah, that's like the fattest state in America. I've gotten to the point where it doesn't bother me when, I don't let things like that, when people make cracks at my weight or anything like that, it doesn't bother me. But still, that's not the thing that I want to be reminded of when I'm, proud of my home state and glad that I'm from Mississippi. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the reason you're overweight. It's because you're from Mississippi. People, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid in your head like that because it's not cool.
I always say, and nobody ever does this because it's just not human nature, I guess. But before you say anything about anybody else, you take the thing that you hate about yourself the worst, and you imagine if somebody put your shit out for everybody, and how would that make you feel? You know what I mean? Even if you don't believe what somebody else believes, they have the right to believe it, and they have the right to live their life the way they want to live. If they're not hurting you, then you need to back the F off.
Yeah. We just got all serious up in here. And we've been filming for almost 9 minutes, so this is like almost an entire vlog that we just done.
Well, I'm sure you can cut the highlights because we do tend.
But yes, Delana and I we like to see the humor in life. We like to bring out the funny in life, but we do have our moments of serious. And when there are certain things that Delana is very passionate and serious about, there are certain things that I'm very passionate and serious about, and then there are things that we both agree on.
Wait, hold on. Let me just say, if you're not registered to vote, you need to register to vote, or you have no opinion in your own little city. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Well, you know what? You have an opinion, but you don't have as much right. And to me, I don't think you have as much right to bitch about something if you're able. Like if you're able to vote, if you're eligible to vote and you're eligible to register, and you just haven't, then I think that you don't have. You can't say nothing. Anyway.
And while we're on the subject of voting, I have to throw this out. I saw several people, in fact, recently, bitch about having to go for jury duty. These same people also bitched about the jurors who let Casey Anthony off. So if you're going to sit on Facebook and bitch about letting Casey Anthony off, or, all that happened when she was on trial, don't sit there and complain about having to go to jury duty. that is, oh, that made me so mad when I read that on Facebook the other night.
Jury duty is, for the most part, an inconvenience, you know, especially if you've got a job and they give you a hard time about taking it off. But, I mean, that's part of the beauty of living in the country that we live in, is someone's right to a speedy trial and a trial in front of their peers, you know? I mean, if you committed some crime or were accused of committing some crime that you didn't commit or whatever, I mean, would you want one singular judge who probably is set in their ways do it, or would you rather 12 different personalities and people come together and hear everything that has to be said about it and then make an informed decision?
Come together right now over me. Okay, that was the lighthearted end to this very serious and heavy discussion that we just had. So, in conclusion, children, don't be racist. Don't hate on the South. Don't hate on Mississippi, because I was born and raised there, and you do not want to deal with me and my wrath against people who talk bad about Mississippi. Register to vote, and if you register to vote, don't you dare complain about having to have jury duty, especially if you bitched about Casey Anthony
you get paid
getting
for
off.
jury duty. You get paid. It may not be your freaking salary that you're used to, but you get paid.
What she said. This is serious talk. This is serious talk from Peace Love Memphis, y'all. Yo.
We trying to keep
Trying
to keep it peaceful up in here, bro.
I know. But yes, you will soon discover, if you continue to watch our vlogs, that we are very passionate people about certain things. And, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, you know, they're such, you know, slacker people. You know, we're not slacker people.
I don't think we're slackers.
No. But, you know, we may be 25 and 26 years old and, you know, still, you know, go out and have a good time and all that good stuff. But, you know, we are, for the most part, responsible with our lives. Which is, in the end, that's all that really matters. And I'm going to sneeze now.
Bless you.
I am so sorry. I've been doing that all night, thanks to this wonderful cold. So we're going to turn the camera off now.
Before Carrie gets walking pneumonia.
Thank you for sitting in to this very serious discussion that we have had this evening. And we hope that you will tune in again later and let us fuss at you. Okay.
Yes, because, wait, before you turn it off, I'd just like to say, I know we've been talking about doing some really neat stuff with the vlogs, and we've just had some technical difficulties after technical difficulties, but cool stuff is coming because we have tons of ideas, so.
Come together right now. You have to sing the last part of it.
Over me.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go now. Bye-bye.